Okay, we've got to start moving into starting ink. So we got to get these things finished, okay? Because I really want to start moving into work mode now. And also think about when this class is fundamental. So think funny, think very push design, all that kind of stuff, okay? And then we'll start getting into. I want to start getting into stylization and caricature right after this project we're doing, okay? All right. So what I should be looking at here now is hopefully things that we can start to, we're finalizing, because I want to start getting to ink now. Where's Abigail?
Right here.
I think you're pretty close.
We can't see your screen.
You don't need to see my screen.
Fine then.
Okay, okay, so there's things here that aren't quite finished, but you're pretty close. Like this tail. You there, Abigail?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this has to get a little more. That's way too big. I'd work this out a little more, however you want to do it. Like this is going to come around, you might be able to just do a little graphic break. You know how you kind of go, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and the reason I'm pushing this like finish idea, when you get to ink, everything has to be finished. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't want to be designing once you're in ink. That'll be a disaster. Same thing, you're starting to do it here. I might do a little of that. You're starting to do it already. And don't do what I just did. Like these, see how my edges are real pointy?
Yeah.
I'd probably round them a little bit.
Okay.
Like more like that. Just make sure that like any little last things now. Same thing here. This has got to get worked out. Because when you go in with the pen and you go, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing there, then what? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then like this, I might just make one solid shape, which is probably what you're going to do anyway. Going with your brush. I like this flipping over. That's good. You might just add maybe that. I always just try and add little things that give it a little bit of design. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Same thing here. So make sure these are you're going with this kind of thing. Make sure they're consistent. So really, I think it looks to me like around a cleanup, and that's, I might give them a little, if you give them this little thing there, it makes them a little more cheeky. That's up to you. Sometimes I put the top of the snout there, right?
Okay.
Are these his eyebrows here?
Yeah.
Why are they like M's?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't mind like random mark, or not random, but like stylized mark making. I mean, I don't mind that. But
well, when I tried a pointy, he kind of looked evil, so I went with like a softer.
You get it. This is good. A little more. You can get rid of. I'd get rid of those sharp points. I give those a little more oomph. And then things like this, like I wouldn't do these real pointy edges like that. And also like this, it's probably going to round it just a little. Then it's probably going to have a, frame around it.
Mm-hmm.
And just give it a little more interest. Now here, this is dangerous right here. So what's that going to be from a mark making perspective?
I was just gonna have it kind of like what is it called? I was gonna have the back leg like totally blacked
Yeah, I
out,
like
and then
that.
I was gonna have like the part where it like over this like front leg where it's overlapped. I was just gonna like hash it kind of right there to add like depth kind of thing.
You're gonna do
But I
what?
don't know.
Hatch it? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is it's if you're gonna hatch. Okay, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with hatching, but it's got to kind of make sense.
Hmm.
So, I was going to hatch this. I don't know if I would, but if I was going to hatch, I'm going to kind of follow the form a little bit. I'd probably put that. I forgot how the wing goes. I always forget this. That wing, I think I'm backwards. How does the wing go? That's weird. I'd probably put that wing there and maybe a little bit of texture. And then I'd see if I need anything there, right?
Okay.
You might not. This is all going to be black to plate.
Yeah.
Now also think about, and then this hand, make sure that that's worked out, right?
Hmm.
That could be real simple. Think about things too, like if you go, okay, this is a, what do we call it? Shiny plate. If I want to have, like, let's say I want to have a little shine right there, you want to think ahead so you don't cover that with ink, correct?
Yeah.
So it's just that kind of thing, right? Oh, and then this, make sure that like this shadow, this shadow, it's telling me that the floor is actually facing down like this. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? What I'd probably do is either make it, you can do it this way if you want. So you got your shadow shape, and then make sure this is following the perspective of the floor or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Or you could just go and make it a bigger, that's up to you. A bigger dark shadow, right?
Hmm.
I think I'd give that a little more. Oh, and same thing here with this door. It's going to have, and then this, I know you're kind of looking straight at it, but I might go, well, I can see a little bit of the inside of the door. See how that helps a little bit?
Hmm.
And then here, I might just kind of hit these here and there. But you can do that in the ink. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have two here, but is that the one you're going to do, the one we just looked at?
I wasn't sure. I was gonna ask which one you liked more.
The one I just looked at,
Okay.
for sure.
All right.
Good. Caleb got his stuff in here. Good. Where are you at?
Right here.
Okay, so where's my background?
I was too busy working on just the character itself, I guess.
I want that background in there by, because I want these approved this week. Yeah?
You want what? I'm sorry?
I want to get these approved this week. I want you guys to start working on ink.
Okay.
Now, here's the other question. Oh, we're going to do watercolor too. I forgot. Okay, so you can do that. Which one are you leaning towards here?
I'm leaning a lot towards the lizard. Or the crocodile, or whatever you want to call it. I like him the most.
Like, I don't have a problem with like this one. What's he doing here?
So he's like a martial artist. So he's doing some sort of fighting stance before fighting, just something like that.
Okay, I get that from this one, and
Uh-huh.
kind of from this one. Like I think if you refined this one, I think the leg's a little awkward. I mean, I'm reading it is what it is. I get what it is, but I
Okay.
just get it a little tightened up. But I think I like what you're doing. That you're plotting out your blacks here. That's good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's nice if you start plotting out big black areas. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's just a good thing to learn how to do. And then again, you could come in here and this brush is going to do it. So you're going from this dark to this halftone, right?
Uh-huh.
You can also just sort of pull these rat tails out of it and start to get that halftone idea like they do in comic books all the time, correct?
Yeah.
That's up to you.
I get what you're saying.
Which might be a fun thing to try.
For sure.
Now, the problem is if you don't have the halftone in there, usually, and some people can do that, and you can do it. There's some people that will block this stuff in, and a lot of it is just a sharp edge or whatever. But that's you can see how that's starting to work, this little rat tail right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm really thinking about, where, carrying the form through too. I'm not just making them random. I want to think about how the form goes. So you could do that too, which actually would be a really good exercise. I think this is fine if you want to do this one, just refine it a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you want a
Is
background?
this the one you like? Which one do you like here?
I liked that one. There were two favorites. That one and then the handstand one.
Yeah. The
couldn't pick
handstand ones,
two.
those are the two strongest. I agree with that.
Yeah, I liked the handstand one, and I liked. I'm not trying to blow smoke up my own butt or anything like that. I just like the way that pants ended up falling. I think I liked it a lot.
Okay, I'm cool if you want to do that one. But again, just finish it out. Like, I want to know, really look at those folds. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then if you're going to do God, I totally lost my train of thought. A halftone thing, a rat tail halftone thing, just kind of plot it out in here. I don't think that you necessarily have to, you could transfer it into your drawing, you know. And a lot of times what they'll do with like those kind of drawings, like if they have, I think it's easier for me, it's just easier to pencil it. But sometimes, they'll go, oh, let's say this eye socket and this side of the face is all in shadow, right?
Yeah.
They'll just go X. And that just means black, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, the pencil actually pencils this stuff in, which I think is probably a lot easier. And then they just ink right over it.
Yeah.
But you can do that if you want.
Okay.
I mean, you can, either one of these poses is fine. Just refine it. Make sure that I really read this, this fold information well. That foot's not too bad. I think I'd probably figure this foot out a little more.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it feels like he's sort of pointing it. And don't be afraid to change the feet,
Yeah. I think what I did with that was I was trying to get it to look as if it read with the rest of the spin, so I kept it at a curve, like he's swiping, but
yeah, I don't think the curve's bad. I just think you got to get, it's almost like a little bit reading like when like a ballet dancer points her toe and it's very elegant. You know what I mean?
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
This one reads pretty good, this foot here, because it kind of comes down and has that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that reads pretty good in that position. So you just got to figure that out. I like the way this is coming over this. So just get it cleaned up, and then we can, by the way, you guys, just, you can just light table these, okay? By the way, hey, Jesse.
Yes.
You're in my illustration class, right?
Yeah.
So I put that up. Did I tell you?
The watercolor washes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw it
You did see
before
it?
this class.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to watch it, of course, because I was in your last class too. But
That's fine.
yeah, I saw that you posted it.
But I actually saved it.
I'm so relieved for you. I felt so bad yesterday when you said you thought it maybe crashed while we were in class.
Why? But that like really bummed me out yesterday.
Hey,
Okay.
Mike, I had a question.
Yeah.
When you were talking about my stuff, when you said you want a finished one, you want the background and that character refined, you just want one of them, or do you want like multiples?
No, just one.
Okay.
Just one with simple background. Just like the
Yeah,
one
no problem.
video, I just put some silhouettes back there. You can do stuff like that and do whatever you want.
Yeah, and I didn't put backgrounds in the other ones because back when my internet was cutting out and whatnot, and I was letting you know that I was cutting in and out of class. I heard refine the animals into like characters, and then that's all I got. And then
Didn't I put that Zoom thing out?
I didn't check. I was working and stuff like that, but it's I get what you mean.
I mean, I know once in a while I screw up and I don't get them up, but usually.
No, it was my fault. It was my fault. I didn't go back and check because I had work, and then once I got kicked into the homework, I was like, oh, it's I'm already working on the homework and whatnot. It's fine, but that was on me, so I'll just double check next time.
Okay. Okay, Emily.
Saw, dude.
Which one are you thinking?
I'm definitely leaning towards the top middle one.
Yeah, me too.
I think it has like a really good composition, rules of thirds, all that good stuff, and it's going to be a lot of fun to play with.
And I also like your. Are you going to do some nice big heavy black areas?
Yeah, that's going to be in the foreground, so it's kind of like, just like what's the word? Framing it. Yeah, but.
Okay, so we're going to have an open discussion meeting because I got to make sure things are moving forward now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we might have to have. I'm not saying might have to. I'm going to try and make myself available quite a bit as we're going through this process because I feel like you might hit a lot of walls with this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to, if you haven't inked before, it can be tricky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a pain.
But what you need to do, what you're doing here is exactly, you're starting to figure out your mark making. You're figuring out where your heavy blacks are. You got to figure out your transitions out of the heavy blacks, all you guys. If you're going to do heavy blacks, you've got to figure out your transitions out of those. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I tried using a fountain brush for this, but then like stuff, it's been a long time, so it started to get really heavy towards the background, and I was like, oh no. But I think I'm going to definitely stick to the quills. And then for like the heavy mark making, definitely use the brush pen. And I want to do some dry brush too.
Is at least get in your sketchbook or something with just a brush and some ink. And just try doing some drawings just with like no more than a number 1 brush, round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just try, and you can even get an odd or a double odd, those are fine. I was using like a triple odd in that video. But, and just try it because what it does is, number 1, a brush, nothing inks like a brush, okay? Dip pens are awesome too, but you can just get the fattest line to the thinnest line with that thing, and then you can put in all these dark, it just does so much stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Blick this weekend and pick up some more brushes because like I just have like the Pentel ones.
Yeah, the Pentel one's a good one to play with. It's a very finicky pen though, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to like get it inking, and then you have to sort of, but
the problem I had was that the bristles would separate and it would just get really like rough after like probably 5 strokes, and I'd have to like get new paper and just start like trying to get to that nice tip again, and I was like, oh man.
I've never had that problem with the Pentel brush pen. I mean, those things, the reason I like that pen is man, I've got one in my bag. It's at least a year old, and it's just needle sharp still,
I got one of the disposable ones. I don't know.
The disposable ones will do that. They'll fray after about, I don't know. If you're really, using them a lot, they'll fray after a couple, a week or something. I don't know.
I haven't used it in months, so I think that also might have to do with it. Just like I feel like the ink might have been drying, but it was just really rough. So I'm gonna definitely take this weekend and practice a lot with
What are his feet on right here? Oh,
he's sitting on like a little cushion ledge,
okay.
and I kind of want to emphasize his like little toes sticking out.
No, I like the position of the feet. I think that's great. And then what's happening here? Is this like wood?
It's gonna be like wood. Like this is carved out of a tree kind of.
And
like
what's here? What are these dark values here?
Just a stack of books.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Then I'm gonna have like little sheets of paper sticking out of the books.
Let me see if I
And
can.
there's gonna be like a kind of carved out shelf into the wall, made of like wood, like a tree.
This has got a lot of black in it. You see that?
Yeah.
Now, you could, and I'm looking for, let me see. I know I had another one. Look at all that black. So this black is pretty straightforward. He's not doing a lot of finessing of it. Look at those folds, right? Solid back here. So here, he's not doing as much of this halftone thing. He's just really plotting where his blacks are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You
I
could
think
do-
with mine though, I don't want to do too much black.
No, that's fine.
Like, okay.
Um,
But I do like the blocking out, and then
Yeah.
like
I
it
just
starts to
wish
kind
that-
of fade off.
What I'm trying to get to is like, again, I know I'm a broken record. You got to really design that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then look at this. This is great. This little rough edge he did on there. I mean, the thing that's interesting about these guys, these people that did this stuff, I think this is going to be great, actually. You have a color plan for it?
A bit. I want to do more like warm brownish tones, and then I want like lighting to play kind of like a thing for it, like because he's right by the window, so everything's gonna have like that harsh like light on him, and then in the background.
Okay, get this thing all put together this week. I want it done.
Everything done, colored too.
No, I want your
Oh, thank
ink,
God.
I want your final drawing done. So I want to start ink.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow it up, and I'm gonna I already have the illustration board prepped.
Yeah, everything's here. I mean, all you gotta do is just go in and tighten up, and you know,
Mhm.
or you know, and speak to the more information and all that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I love that. And everybody now understands the process we're going through, correct?
Yes. Sorry, I dropped
Okay.
my mic.
So go.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was planning. Right after doing this, I was gonna ask if I could just work
Yeah.
on it.
By the way, you guys, we're gonna start. Yeah, tonight I'm gonna start doing that in here too. After I talk to you, go work.
Okay.
But I want you to go work, because normally what we'd be doing in a class is I'd be doing this, going around individual with you guys. We'd all be working in class. Okay. So, and right now is now the moment where it's like crush time. It's like, okay, let's get these drawings finished. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm dying to get you guys to ink, because I want to start working through the problems. And you guys might not even have problems. I don't know. You guys might all kill it. But
Do you want me to stick around for class, or am I cool to just go
no, you're
draw?
cool to go work. Anybody after I talk to you or whatever, you're cool to go work.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thanks,
Good job.
Mike.
Good job, Emily.
Thank you. I always do. That's
wanna
a
meet
lie.
you
That's
now.
a huge lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're about to be muted.
So Mike, it's me, David, again. So I'm getting really frustrated and tired with both of your classes and me trying to submit my homework
I am
because,
too.
and so I'm saying, can I just email you my work or
No,
what?
put them in the folder.
Okay, because I'm on the thing right now and it won't let me because, like you said, it was too
Now it's closed.
right. So am I
Okay,
getting?
I'm not understanding what this whole problem is. And I also don't like hearing, oh, I'm getting frustrated with something when it's like, this is you. Everybody else is getting everything in there just fine. You know what I mean?
Okay. No, I swear to God, I didn't see the thing, the link.
And I keep
So-
saying this over and over again. It's the same thing every time. There's a big red word, and that's the folder.
Yeah, I know. But the class link thing wasn't even there today, this morning, the one that it said. I don't know.
put that up today. I put that up like days ago.
I know, but I looked yesterday, last night. I didn't see it. And I'm just saying there must be some kind of issue on my end.
Yeah, figure that out.
Okay.
Because I don't know what that is. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Wait, here we are. You just send me a text? Somebody sent me a text. Who sent me a text? Was it in this class? No, that's something else. I'm sorry. And David,
Yeah.
I'm going to do an open meeting. Get them in that meeting so I can see them because I want to get them finished.
Okay.
All right?
So when you say open meeting, where is that on the Canvas thing?
It'll be under. I'll put it under announcements to every single class.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank
And
you.
it'll be the same thing as always. It'll be a Zoom link. and a folder usually.
Okay.
But folder. Only that folder will just be specifically for that meeting. And I'm going to try and do, maybe next week, do 2 of those. I'm going to try and do 1 this week. Okay.
Okay.
And the link that you're clicking right now, it is taking you to the folder, but now the folder's closed. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. And what I'm trying to say is too, for some reason, because I can see, I'm looking at the site right now, the class link says September 16th, but that, I'm telling you, it wasn't there today when I was looking at it earlier.
That's something on your end, because that
Yeah,
was,
I know. And then on so the only place I saw that I could drop my work was the open discussion Zoom meeting on the 14th. So I put it in there just because I was like, I don't know where else to put it.
try, maybe it's some kind of conflict. What kind of computer do you have?
A Mac?
Oh. Maybe there's something going on Canvas with you and your computer, maybe?
What browser are you using?
I'm using Safari.
I wouldn't use Safari.
I mean, I use Safari, and I put my stuff in there from the folder link today.
But
Yeah, but
But-
on my end, I didn't see the September 16th folder, the class
okay,
link.
here's the weird thing, by the way, about Safari, which I'm not understanding. So Chrome, so I usually use Chrome.
Yeah.
Chrome, which is a Google product, won't let me download entire folders anymore. I don't know why, out of the drive. So now I go to Safari, and Safari lets me do it now. So I kind of am doing everything through Safari now because Google's just not working anymore for some reason. I have to go in and download everything individually now, and then I had to do that on Safari for a while. But now I can download the whole folder in one batch. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I think I'll switch over to Chrome then because, like I said, I've been having issues.
yeah, just try it. Okay,
Okay.
if you so I want, when I put up this next link, which I'll probably do, I don't know, tomorrow. You need to tell me if it's literally not showing up, because that's weird. Does that make
I
sense?
would take a screenshot.
Yeah, take a screenshot of it. That's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah, take a screenshot of that. If it's doing that, I want to see a screenshot of it because maybe that'll help me understand what's going on.
Okay. All right. But like I said, I'm going to switch over to Chrome now because, yeah, I don't know why it's been having these problems.
Yeah,
So.
try that. Usually Chrome is actually, Safari will have a lot of problems with different things. Usually, and usually they'll tell you to use Chrome. But I mean, I don't know. Hang on, now I'm all confused. Okay. There's that. Where's George?
Right here.
What do you think?
I'm kind of liking it. I just need help with like the shadowing and heavy blacks. I'm pretty sure. I got
So
everything set up.
This isn't your final though, right?
No, it's not. It's practice.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I've been
Didn't I
practicing the
say-
ink. It's really helpful.
Yeah, it is helpful to do run-throughs on this stuff. Like I always say, and by the way, if you're buying individual sheets of Bristol,
hmm
and by the way, take down your Bristol with some drafting tape or something.
Yeah, I actually bought a whole book of it. So
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, because I like to have an insurance policy where it's like, screw this up, I can just start another one.
Hey, I have a question about that. What sizes have to be? Because I got both a small and a large one.
You know what? I'll put this up under assignments, but I think I'm just going to say no smaller than letter size.
Letter size? All right, cool.
No smaller than that. You can go bigger than that, but don't go any smaller than that.
All right, cool.
Because I don't want to put, look, I could be completely wrong on this because I have been before. Because in the last term or two, I've started teaching classes that I was really interested in teaching, but it was like, am I going to, is everybody going to get this? And everybody totally got it. And everybody killed it way better than I thought they were going to do. And then I look at inking and I go, I think inking's really tough, but I think if you're talking about a fundamentals of cartooning class, you got to learn inking, right? And then, so the same thing could happen. I just look at it and go, I think it's fairly hard, but like, don't listen to me. Cause if you start doing it, you go, I got this, man. Then don't cause I'll do that in my own head sometimes, I'll hear like, this is like perspective. Oh my God, it's so hard. It's so complicated. It's like math. And then you take it and you go, no, it isn't.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun with it. Have fun with
Yeah,
all
that's
this.
how- yeah, I was up doing these all night, bro. I lost track of time.
Good, that's what you should be doing. Things on his nose, like you might want to think maybe, maybe go heavy down here and then pick it back up here.
Okay.
Like stuff like, and then you can put another ink block right there. Like get these things sort of finalized. And then this kind of stuff, make sure that you're and you can do it sort of loose like that, but make sure that it's sort of following the form and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who actually has a cool polar bear illustration is those, what's that stuff? Slushy. What's that stuff called? Icy. You guys know what I'm talking about?
The slushy
Have that
polar bear.
with a surfboard.
Yeah, with wearing the red jacket.
Yeah.
I think it's a red jacket. I'm not sure.
I screwed up where I put his fur. So get this stuff sort of, and then also on this shirt, you might want to get like a flip back there. You might want to get maybe 1 or 2 folds. Make sure this is actually following the form. Like where it wraps over here. I want to make sure this can come out.
It's just, yes, I was thinking it was going to be like a tight shirt. But that's why I put it like the hairs are like coming out of the shirt edges. But
I don't know if I'd make it super tight. Well, you could say that it's too small for him. I get that.
yeah, but I could do loose.
No, that's fine. No, I get it. Because whenever I draw bears, I always put their clothes on too small. Okay, so like you got the right idea here. Just sort of refine it, right?
Yeah.
So everything's got to get refined. Like these random marks right here, don't do that.
No.
Like if he's wearing trunks, those probably, that I can probably get a little baggier with. Maybe have some silly pattern on it.
So do I leave the shorts just blank white? I assume?
No, I'd probably I'd at least get some, just a couple of indicating folds on it.
Okay.
And just clarify everything. Like this right here,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Okay.
maybe the bottom of his shoe just becomes part of the ground shadow. That make sense?
Yeah.
And it's, that way I can get a nice dark right there on the bottom of his shoe.
Mm.
I would simplify this shoe right here. So I read it. So it could still have this kind of thing. And it can still have this kind of thing. Or I might go, just do a strap over it. Have his toes coming out over here. Add my bottom. And then maybe do something like this.
Okay, like one of those flip-flop. I forgot what they're called.
Yeah. No, so just reads real simple, and then maybe 1 or 2 of these in here.
Okay.
And then then you can have your shadow come right out of that. So a lot of times it's nice to do things like this where you lock together a shadow, or you mass a shadow. Does that make sense?
I see. With the shoes in the front, the sandals thrown in the back.
Yeah, if I can
the
do
shadows.
that. There's a really good example of it. It's not the same. It's kind of the same thing. If I can find a little design thing, I'm always going to go after it. This one. See how he locked this splash right into the shoe?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like stuff like that. I'm always looking for stuff like that. Okay?
Okay.
Because it's just nice little designy things. I mean, this is why this guy's a big deal, is little things like that. That position and all that stuff. Yeah, so get this, make sure that this leg is working right. Like the top of his, what is at the top of his trunks, right?
Mm,
You know, is it that like elasticy gathering stuff?
okay.
And then I wouldn't put these random marks on the umbrellas.
Okay.
You know, if that's an umbrella, the structure of it is this. It's a cone, basically. You know, and then it's this. And then I can square these off. And then I can add that and this, and then maybe this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
this can become red and this is white or whatever. And then if you're going to do this tree back here, design it.
Design it. All right.
Yeah, so it's, you know, maybe it's just big, simple shapes. I mean, we're talking about cartooning here, so
Okay. Like define the leaves, like in better, bigger shape, I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to do this trunk, you know, then maybe I do some, you know, a lot of times they have sort of a weave pattern. You know, I just find some kind of interesting, you know, and then they usually have some dead stuff right here. And then maybe I put another one back here, and this one goes pure black, maybe. You know, something behind there can go to a silhouette. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's a horrible palm tree I just drew, by the way.
Well, I got an idea, so.
You know, and then this too, I'd figure this out. I'm like, is there like a shine in there? In his glasses? And then I can come in here when you get to watercolor, you can just come in here with maybe a light blue wash over that gradates from the bottom to the top, and it'll look like sunglasses. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we can go. Yeah, because it's outside in the sky, so.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And you want to give that some interest, all that stuff in there.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Will this be? Yeah, it's recorded. Okay, making sure. Just taking notes.
Yeah, I'll try. I don't think I have to do another crazy big video now. I got to finish off the one I just put up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine. They're going to be getting started, so I probably have a few days where I got to do that. So I'll try and stay on top of the meeting Zooms.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. Let's go. Hey, David. Where's David at?
Yeah, Mike, I'm here. Mm-hmm.
Email me those. I don't want that going another week.
Yeah, I was also going to say I got on Chrome, and it does seem like Chrome's working better because I'm able to access the I just wanted to double check. You know, I'm in your sketching class,
Yeah.
and I'm able to get in the folder there, and I can see it, so I can turn it in. I'm like, oh, wow, it's actually working now.
Okay.
So,
well, send me those because I'm not going to lose another week.
yeah, okay. I'll send it to you right away.
I don't want anybody getting that far behind. Where are you at? Who's this? I forgot.
It's me. It's mine, Mike Gilbert. Yeah.
Okay, so we got to get. You know, I always work these things out right from like a real simple perspective. Like I might tilt his head a little bit because we got to get this worked out. There's too much empty open space in here. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, when you're going to go into ink, you got to have some. The thing that's nice about ink is how much power it has, right? It's just like you get those big chunks of black ink in there, and it's just got power. Does that make sense? So we want to take advantage of it. I might drop his head down a little bit, so he's sort of looking up at you. You know, maybe a little more, you know, menacing, I guess. Now that's up to you. And I still didn't drop it down enough, but he's a cat, right? Is he a cat or a fox? I can't remember.
It's a fox.
It's a fox, okay.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I might raise his shoulder up a little bit.
Okay.
Then this, what kind of sleeve is that? Is that like a big?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. That was part of it. I just kind of want it, like, it's supposed to be kind of flowing because traditionally they would kind of like tie it to kind of hold their sleeves up so they could still,
Okay, so
like,
make sure you're
swim
looking
this
at
one.
reference, right?
Yeah.
Just to get some ideas. Don't be a slave to those. Don't be a slave to your reference. That's the worst thing you can do.
Okay.
But maybe it comes up something like that. You know, and then maybe I can make sort of a black mark in here. You know, and work that out a little bit. And then he's sort of pulling forward. Mine's not pulling as far as yours is. It should be. It actually is better if it's doing what yours is doing. So this can pull forward a little bit. And that means I'm probably going to get a fold. This fold, look.
Okay.
Because if he's pulling forward, I'm going to get that fold right.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I might, you know, have a little of that. Don't overdo it, man. You got to like really not overdo that stuff.
Okay.
And then like, okay, so again, this is like, let's not make small statements here. So he's got a belt, sash, whatever. And I might have that, you know, and if he's more in motion, I might have it doing, you know, that or something, right?
Okay.
So he's got his feet this way and he's sort of doing that, right?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah, he's about to.
Yeah, I guess you can. Where would I go? Feels like his feet would be more. Get a nice sweep there. And again, you know, make a statement right here, especially with, you know, whatever this is. I always put this like rope thing around it. That's up to you.
Oh, the grip, yeah.
But that doesn't matter. And then when you get down to here, now I'm thinking his leg would be out like that. And then I want to get like a, you know, let's get rid of this here. We don't need this anymore. It looks like it's anticipation of action, correct?
Yeah.
So here I'm going to go, you know, I'm going to get a radiating fold right in there, right? Might get a fold right there. And then big statement here. Maybe a little furry. Maybe he's got a claw. And he's got these weird, whatever these are called. I'd probably make that a little fatter, so I made a bigger statement with it.
Okay.
And then this, I mean, you're going to get some nice pull folds in here from that. Right?
Yeah.
I still haven't got the leg worked out. And the same thing here, you know, refine. You know, if he's got this, again, I might just make that this strap on the sandal.
Okay.
Sort of something like that. Something like that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You kind of get those things, you know, and then you're going to get probably a nice fold right there. And then you can get the other arm out here. You know, and I might use that same trick here. And then, I don't know, maybe you can do something like you're doing right there. I don't know if that'll work. Yeah, maybe. You know, maybe this side starts to go into kind of noirish kind of idea. And then maybe there's a gather right there, you know. I want to get like this sort of idea of, that's a really funky pose I just did. I want to get this idea of Like, you know, if you got that, you know, that drapery, you know, design those folds real nice. Don't over design them. You don't need too much, right?
Okay.
It's like, you know, you got to learn that sort of, you know, really get that pose worked out, right?
Okay.
That's job one. And when you do that, you got to go very simple. And I know you did some plans over there. You know, just work with a simple basic form and then just go, here's my shoulder, here's the arm, here's the back. And I got to make all this sort of work and pose them out, by the way. Because he's like twisting, you know, I got to get up and pose that out. Sometimes I get up and I go, I can't even do this pose. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Or like when you're leaning against the wall, that, you know, people will cross their legs over. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, where they
Yeah,
bend their knee, you know,
Yeah.
lean on a wall. Well, if you do the wrong leg that's bent, it looks weird.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you get up and you go, why does that look weird? And you lean against the wall and then stand that pose, you're all off balance. That's why it looks weird. Because you can't stand like that. It doesn't work. So you got to make sure when you're doing a pose, and it kind of helps me. I don't know if everybody's like this. Just from a spatial relationship, it helps me with the acting a little bit, because then I go, okay, I'm pulling my sword, and I go, oh, I can raise that arm up maybe a little bit. Maybe I can dip the head behind there a little bit, so I'm just seeing the eyes over the shoulder, if I can do that, right? Sometimes I can't, you know. And then I go, ooh, I might do this, you know. And I'll find poses that I never would have thought of, you know.
Okay.
And just from a can I do this perspective, can I do this pose perspective, it helps me to figure that out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And just from an acting perspective, where can I push this? Because it's kind of fun to like start thinking about this and going, because you are making an image of it. I was going to say, like, if we were making a movie, well, screw a movie. You're making an image of it. And you're kind of going, how can I design the crap out of this where it looks super cool? You know what I mean? I mean, I just found a guy, by the way, does a lot of ink stuff. He's been on my Instagram forever, but I don't know why I just noticed him the other day. And he does a lot of cool ink stuff, man. Hang on. Okay. Oh, there it is. And I was thinking about, as far as like pushing this stuff, this guy's a great example. What happened? Oh, there it is. Right?
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
I mean, that's badass. Taylor. I can't hear you.
I'm on mute. That's awkward.
But isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's really cool.
And he's got a bunch of cool ones in here. Look at this one. I love this.
That's cool. Okay.
I mean, that is so cool. Like, I love the power of that kind of drawing. I mean, that's got power. You know what I mean? You put that on a billboard, man. Everybody driving down the freeway is going to go whoop right to that billboard. Somebody should have figured that out by now. Then look at this patterny stuff he did in here.
That's cool.
Like, think like that, man.
Okay. Yeah.
And then look at this nice spatter stuff down here. There's a bunch of ink stuff in here.
That's cool. Okay.
Like, that's just a dude having a blast.
Yeah.
That's just nutty.
It's great. Here's the problem. Like, the better you get at this stuff, that where you're good at a lot of mediums or whatever, then it's like you have to stop yourself from wanting to go down every rabbit hole. Because then I go, okay, now I just want to get back into my ink sketchbook and just do all that shit all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what should you actually be doing?
Yeah.
You know? And you can do a little of that. I mean, I always do that. I always go down little rabbit holes. But
rabbit holes. Yeah.
I try and stay somewhat focused. Look at this one. Look at the power of all that black.
Okay.
There's nothing punchier than that, man. And then look at this right here. See that?
Yeah.
That's dragging those rat tails out of there, right?
Okay.
It looks like he's got, that almost looks like he left the pencil in there. It looks like it might be over Prisma. Where does it say? Pencil and ink, so it's probably Prisma. And I'm all into these, man. Also, there's just such a great sense of design in all these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really great sense of design in these things. Does these really fun Prisma things. I think I just got somebody's stuff. And also, who else? Somebody else didn't get him in there. Is it Brian? Where's Brian?
I got him in there.
No, the other
Here.
one. Brian.
I'm here.
Where you at?
I'm up here.
Did you email me yours?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go through those two. I don't want to lose a week, but just make sure they're in the folder from now on.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, it's me.
I don't want to lose a week with anybody. That's too much.
Mike, it's me, David. I sent an email.
Yeah.
And I also, just to let you know, I submitted my sketching homework. If you have a minute today, could you double check just to make sure? Because I just want to make sure from now on you get my homework, you know?
Yeah,
So,
and then you sent me an email, correct?
I sent you an email for this class, the fundamentals.
Yeah, but there's nothing attached to it.
I attached all of my pictures.
Oh, now it's showing. Maybe it has to load. Give it a minute, because I think somebody else's did this earlier. Let me, because it's showing a paperclip. It's just not showing anything. So we'll see. Okay.
Mike?
Yeah.
Mike? This is Stephanie. I also was like a minute late to upload this. Is it possible for me to email?
Let me understand this, though. Why is nobody understanding that I close the folder a half hour before class? Because everybody gets that, correct?
Yeah. It was just a time management
This is
issue.
why,
for
because
me.
then we end up spending half an hour talking about this. I got to go get stuff at all these different locations. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Just email them to me. I don't want anybody losing a week, but I don't like this missing the folder thing.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. So anyway, there's that.
Am I good to go work on this right now, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anybody is.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay, that was okay. There's a. So that was Gilbert. Okay. And I got George, right? Yeah. George. And then Jesse.
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me get rid of these. Now, what's he doing?
I was picturing him kind of like a forest ranger flamingo. He's like in the middle of the water, kind of keeping an eye out.
If you're gonna do that, I might see, work out. Wait, let me get this more. Again, we got to think about pose, right? So let's look at. I might see if I can. I'd probably make these ridiculously big, maybe.
I find it so funny that a flamingo is a forest ranger.
Because it's out of his element. And I'd probably.
Yeah.
Figure out a way, see if I can figure out a way to have him sort of, maybe if I can get his feathers on here where he's looking through the binoculars. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, I gotcha. So like a little more movement in his pose.
Yeah, a little more. And then, I could get this little hat on. I like that shape. Then maybe sort of squinting into it. The trick is he's got this big. There's a couple of tricks here. You got to use his wings like fingers, right? So it's like you can start to get him sort of hand-like like that. Does that make sense? But then you got this big, you know, you got to just figure out a way. I'd probably start with this, maybe. Yeah, don't they have like a dark spot right here?
Yeah, the tip to the middle of it is.
That's
dark.
another excuse for me to play with the ink.
Mhm.
You know, and then can I get this? It'd be a little tricky pose. You'd have to kind of figure it out. But another guy to look at just to get inspiration from, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Hang on. And this is just a suggestion because I really want to make sure. So it'd actually have to come way out here probably. You know, and then see if I can just get his feathers up there. You know, and then show his eyes up here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like maybe he's sort of squinting into him, but you see his eyes up here. It's just a suggestion. And then you know, again, I could do a really nice black rim under there. You know, maybe he's got his nose kind of turned a little bit where he's looking through him, you know? But I have to figure that out. Okay, it's just an idea. Because I'd want to get him in some sort of pose that says ranger. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And movement will, of course, make it more interesting.
And then there's always this thing with them where they're like, no, mine looks like a duck or something. Let me see. You know, you've got this really nice little elegant curve you can put in there, right?
Mhm.
Then they have this mass. So what does a ranger do?
Are you asking me, or were you just saying that out loud to yourself?
No, I'm asking you. I'm saying it out loud and asking.
I mean, who knows, honestly, fully what a ranger does. I feel like you hardly ever see them, but patrol the park.
Control the forest. Probably chop things down. I don't know. What do they?
Save wildlife.
They what?
Save wildlife.
Yeah.
Also try to look for forest fires.
Yeah.
Forest fires.
Lots of knowledge of like plants and trees and stuff like that.
Give tours.
Yeah.
So he's eating. Is it a peanut?
Yeah.
Oh, he's at the fair.
Mhm.
What's he doing, spilling all his popcorn?
He's a silly guy.
I told you I'm going to fight with all the chipmunks right now, right?
Yeah.
They ate all my tomatoes. They got all my tomatoes. Because my tomato plants we're not going to produce anymore this season. Okay. Okay. So which one are you leaning towards? Which idea?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence, but I think the chipmunk one is a little bit cuter and there's a little more movement. And I like the idea of trying to figure out how to like silhouette the background of like a fair scene. Like I kind of had.
I don't have a problem with it. I get it.
I don't know which one is sticking out to you more.
I think I'm liking the chipmunk more.
Okay.
By the way, here's some really cool, just blocking things out, right?
Oh wow. Yeah, that's really cool.
Look at that.
Wow.
Look at this, another one. Look at that black, man. Isn't that cool?
Mhm. Yeah, that's
Look at,
awesome.
there's your halftone. See them? All over the place. More blacks. Look at that. That's badass right there. How cool is that, man?
I like the kind of like almost contour drawing elements to it too. And then how he goes back probably and masses it.
Yeah. The thing I like about David Coleman is that he went down the rabbit hole of like learning all this anatomy, animal anatomy, but then he took it somewhere. You know what I mean? You know, so he does a lot of this kind of straight, you know, observational stuff, but then he can design a zebra 6 weeks from Sunday. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is what you're supposed to do. That's just my opinion. Look at it. Really simple. Yeah, it is sort of a contoury line thing. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing there is you're going like this. You're sort of going in and you're going, okay, I'm doing this dog, and you're doing this very loose line thing, right? And the reason you're doing that is you just want to sort of find the form. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
You know, and then, yeah, then you're going in and going, oh, I'm going to make this, you know, this, and I'm going to put like some hair over here. So now I can put a shadow down here, and under his chin, I'm going to show that, like, you know, some real, you know, and show some of that contour. And he just goes in and he starts playing with all this stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then when you do this, you're, you know, I would come. It's a really good exercise, by the way, to do this, to go just super loose and try and find some forms in there, right? Because it makes me draw just a, you know, and then I can go, okay, I got this arm. So now this is going to be silhouetted. Plus, I'm going to make weird design decisions I probably wouldn't usually make. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So on and so forth. You know, back here I can get another shadow to define his leg a little bit. Fur here. Anyway. You know, and then maybe I don't complete his feet. I just go in here from a design perspective. I just make this a dark area. Maybe I'll even pull this up here into the dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what he's doing. He's doing, but it's not just a contour drawing on the outside. He's going contour into the interior, figuring out that interior. Have you taken life drawing?
Yeah.
So they probably showed you something similar to that, correct?
Correct.
So it's sort of gesture, sort of. Again, it goes back to, like, I don't know, who'd you have for life drawing?
Jim.
Who?
Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jim's a lot more structural, but that that idea of that is there's a lot of elements in life drawing that they're, you know, drawing through the form and all that stuff, and getting loose and all that stuff. You can take it really far. And again, I might draw way back here with a pencil and just start dragging it around, and then I'll pull forms in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
You know, that thing, and I don't know if we talked about this. We talked about rhythm. Did we ever talk about rhythm about this?
No, not sure. It doesn't sound
I had
familiar.
a teacher. I didn't like him, right? And I respected all my teachers. And this guy, I didn't like that he kept trying to force me to draw a way I don't like to draw. He was doing that with everybody, okay? But the one thing I got from him that was really valuable, because I think all this is rhythm anyway. Does that make sense?
Sort of.
I think like your line has rhythm. I think when you're in the zone and you're drawing or whatever, it has rhythm. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. I get where you're going.
I think it's really musical, and musical. All of the arts sort of overlap. Does that, when you go to ballet, they're trying to get beautiful silhouettes.
Absolutely.
Music has light, dark. Crescendo, contrast. It's all the same stuff. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so anyway, he would go, I got a figure here. Here's a head. And then when I go, here's the shoulder, let's say, right? Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Then I go, well, if I follow that form, there'll be an echo over here on the hip. And then if I follow this form out, there'll be a fore calf muscle, let's say. And then there's all these rhythms within the figure that all, if you find, you'll find them when you look for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And then, so what I started doing with that sort of idea, and this is sort of relating back to what you're saying, is when I'm drawing something like this dog, let's say this stupid looking dog, I'm going, okay, I know that there's sort of it doesn't even matter if I know the anatomy or whatever, but I know there's this sort of mass right here. So I'm going to carry it, this whole mass idea. What I'm trying to do is lock together all these masses. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And as I pull through the form, what I'm trying to find is where they lock together, like how they connect. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of thing, I go, okay, I got this shoulder and this arm's out, let's say. And I got this forearm. And then I'm going to raise the head up. And then I'm going to put this. And then when I go into this interior, then I can go, well, I know that there's sort of this upper mass here. And then this is going to come. And I'm trying to connect all these things to other things within the form. So I'm trying to dig in there and go, oh, that line sort of follows down into the abdomen. And it starts to connect everything together for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thanks for going over that.
But it's helped me a lot. And I think if you go out sketching a lot, you'll start to see them if you're looking for it. And it'll help you, I think anyway. Figure these things out, where in other words, there's an internal life inside of that contour line, right?
Yeah.
And that's really, to me, where the whole thing lives. I mean, the contour line is partly where it lives too, but anyway. And then he's got a little, anyway. Okay, there you go.
Well,
okay.
What's working and what's not working?
Just to get to the point of it?
No, I mean, I appreciated the dog drawing and all the other information. I just want to make sure I know what kinks to work out.
Yeah, and whenever I'm telling you guys something, I have to draw it. I can't just talk about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I might tighten up. I don't know if I would. Hang on. Okay, I think this line's getting a little too itchy, all this in here.
Okay.
And then I might, like you got this little hair thing, I might make, a bigger statement on it. And then I might make a little bigger statement on the eyes. Don't they have something over their eyes?
Yeah, they do.
Like I might add some of that. And it's in. Okay, then you have this big inflated, oh no, this is that's his cheeks. One thing I like is their fur will go up and then it'll follow this form like that. It'll do that. And then I'd make sure that this peanut is very peanut. So I think I could be wrong. Let me look at it real quick. Because I think they have these little boxy areas in them, don't they?
I do. I was having a hard time figuring out like a design language or a shape language for it.
Wow, look at this one right here, by the way. Isn't that great?
That's so lovely.
Yeah. Just following the form, man. I'm trying to find his more stylized stuff, and then I'll go back. You know, he usually does really stylized. Here we go, like this. Pull a little of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's that type of drawing again, right there. This is a nice one. All right, I'm sorry, I'm going down the rabbit hole. Sorry. Just looking for, here's another stylized one.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh,
I
yeah.
followed him all.
Huh?
I followed him, so I'll look at more of his stuff later too.
Yeah. I didn't know he was doing all this high contrast stuff. That looks cool, man. Anyway, I haven't been on his site in a long time. Oh, look at this one.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
That's good. Wow.
Let your brain go, right? Anyway, okay. No, let me look at a peanut. It's kind of interesting. So that has quite a bit of dimension to it, right?
Yeah. And what I'm not sure is like, how much of that do you work out in ink, and then how much of that do you work out in
I
water?
work this out in my pencil for sure. So I'm going to go, okay, I know that there's a contour line here, correct?
Uh-huh.
I want to give myself the contour line. Then I want to go, okay, what is it? There's sort of like little reservoirs within this thing that aren't that uniform. And I can make them a little more uniform if I want. And I'm just going to find the little spaces and emphasize these little ridges, because that's going to give me some form. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And I'm just going to basically find these dark shapes and just find like a little pattern for it. Like and by the way, it doesn't have to be. It's just like those drawings we're just looking, or anybody's drawings that you're looking at. You know, this one looks pretty good. Yeah, so there's these little box shapes in there, like right here. See that little box?
Yes.
And this one? So what they are is they're recessed. So there's a little bit of value on this side because the light's coming from here, or probably here, actually here. And I just got to indicate some of that. I got to indicate enough where it's, and also the reason I put this shape here, or that contour line there, is that I know all this stuff has to line up around that contour line, right? So the contour line's only there for me to sort of wrap my shapes around. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so you got to kind of figure out a little graphic language for that. And then I'm looking for anywhere they sort of, you know, have a little bump, or it looks like they come out a little pointier. And then where's his, oh, there's his hands. So his hands are going to be, probably out here, right? Is he stuffing that thing in his mouth?
That's what I was kind of going for, but it doesn't really look like it's in his mouth so much. So it could be like his mouth is already full of other peanuts. He's getting ready for his next peanut.
Why can't he be eating like a roasted corn?
He definitely could be. I think I was drawing a chipmunk based off a chipmunk that was eating a peanut.
Yeah, but that's why don't ever be a slave to your reference.
Yeah, I might have.
And the only reason by that, by the way, see how simply I worked out the position of his hands?
Yeah.
Is because when I first looked at it, I thought that's what he was eating.
Was corn?
Was because probably just because I love roasted corn and I want some. But yeah, I thought he was eating roasted corn, and partly because there was the fair background, and then at first I go, oh, he's eating roasted corn and butter, right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like roasted corn better. I'll get back there and rework that. That's more fairish. I mean, peanuts are pretty fair-esque.
Yeah,
also.
peanuts are fairish too. It's not so much. It's just what story you want to tell, I guess.
Peanut is like what a chipmunk would be eating, and I want him to eat
Yeah, I
something
get it.
a little outside of what he's normally going for.
But this, again, I might do the little flip on the shirt, carry his belly down a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I get this worked out. See how these are sort of random? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I wasn't really trying to make them random. That was like pretty designed. So what could I do to make them look less random?
Give them something, because right now they're sort of doing this, and you can do that. It's not that you can't do that, but if like they're going to follow this belly form, then I'm probably going to sort of really have them maybe a little bigger statement. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I might, graphic them up a little more and pull them together a little more like that,
Okay.
and have them follow the form. And then here, the thing is like it works really well if you make bigger graphic statements. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then like you might be able to the stance. I might kind of look at a few like kids. Again, there's his hand. Kids have funny poses when they're eating stuff like state fair. Kids eating stuff at state fairs. I don't know what the other hand is doing. That's a thing. But I like to play around with the poses for a while, just like that. I don't do anything more than that. And then here, like when you flip the shirt over, you can kind of get a nice dark ink mark right there. And then also, like right here on his belly, I'd probably put a little line right there because that's the top of his belly. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And then, like this, be careful with these really sharp points. And then again, you can get a little bit of that in there. Do you have a belly button? Or she?
Oh, I don't know. That's kind of looks a little creepy.
Seam maybe on the pants. Again, maybe a little flip, maybe a pull fold, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I don't know what kind of tail they got really.
They only have it's like a tiny stubby kind of tail.
Is it really? I didn't even know that.
Or maybe at least just the chipmunks I saw. A lot of I looked at how people illustrate chipmunks also, and sometimes people leave out the tail.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking about Chip and Dale, and I was like, do they show their tail? I don't actually remember now.
I think it depends on the type of chipmunk.
Huh?
I think it depends on the type of chipmunk.
What are you, a chipmunk expert all of a sudden?
I used to live by nature.
Okay. And then Jesse.
Yes.
Get this background. Like, how you gonna do it? You can do it like a silhouette. I think it'd be cool if you just did like a silhouette.
That's what I was thinking.
So. Yeah, so I guess all this stuff. I just make it have bigger statements, like these poles would need to read a little bigger. You know, yeah, you got your flag here. You know, and then this would just go into however you want to handle the silhouette. Right? And by the way, you could do something like that. I think we talked about this. And this is just, you don't have to do this, but you know, maybe I just do some little bit of this back there, and then I just wash some watercolor over it. But I'd probably just do it as a watercolor silhouette, actually. I don't think I'd ink it.
Yeah, that's what I was envisioning. I'm gonna
okay,
just.
cool. Yeah, because it's nice to have that silhouette against all that punchy black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really
Absolutely.
pops forward. Okay, all that makes sense?
Mhm. Thank you. And you said you want us to take off after you go over our drawing today and start working?
Yeah, I want you to start working.
Okay.
Wait, let me screen grab this room one more time. Shoot. I know Jesse was here. Okay. Here. Okay. All right. Where's Josh? Is Josh in here?
Hey, Mike.
Where you at? Your screen's black.
Hey, sorry.
There you are. Okay, you're starting to push them forward. Okay. Now, I kind of think it has its own style. Like sometimes I don't want to go like, oh, I think you should do this, because it's kind of, you know, I don't want to change the style of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, maybe you could do the same thing we're talking about, maybe just here and there, a little more like that on his tail. You know, real subtle stuff. Make sure that these are really designed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like have a real point of view, because you don't want to get in there and then, okay, so here's what happens with ink. You go, okay, I've got this mark making thing, and then all of a sudden you go, man, that's just too much. And then you're in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, like this is kind of interesting how you mask that together. I'd probably make this really dark under his foot right there.
Yeah.
You probably, now make sure you shore up that bottle a little bit, not too much. And then I might kind of go, I don't know if this will work. Give that a little bit of value. Or I might even just put the little core line down the center of it and then separate it with watercolor. Just see what works.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you get that. You get this like a little cleaned up, just a little. The only stuff I'm saying clean up is stuff that I go, I don't feel like it's an intentional design decision. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If it's an intentional design decision, then that's on you. Does that make sense?
Right.
Also here, because like I was just thinking about this last night, because we're talking about cartooning, right? Do you know who Gary Larson is?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Gary Larson, if he drew those things all draftsman-y, they wouldn't be nearly as funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like his personal visual style was really supported his humor.
Right.
I mean, those things were great. So that's where this comes in. Where okay, it's starting to be a style thing, and I want you guys to find your style. So I don't want to change that really. I'd probably soften these edges on these bags. Be careful with all these pointy lines, right?
Yeah.
Or very hard turns, right? That's a bag. And then you go, is this going to be a black mark here? How's that going to work?
Oh, that would probably be like more of a highlight, like a softer.
Oh, okay. is you could also go, if you push these strategically enough, they could probably be, you know, other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shadow values or whatever. It's kind of fun to like plot out where you can put like a big black mark and how it will, you know, show folds or whatever it's showing, and like plotting it is kind of fun, I think. Anyway.
Right.
You know, and then these things, where's the light at? The light's probably at his upper right.
Yeah, like top right.
So are we going to get like a shadow in here? And that's up to you. If you're planning on doing that in the color, that's fine too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I always
Yeah,
play
I
around.
didn't think about the shadow.
Yeah, because there's a lot of opportunity in there again. Do I want to do something really cool with my line, or do I just want to do it with color?
Mm-hmm.
Be careful of this. Like, what's that going to be when you go to ink?
What was it?
What's that squiggle line right here going to be when you go to ink?
I was just gonna make that like solid.
Solid, okay.
Yeah.
And then what's this back here?
Just like a stain on the wall.
Oh, okay. That'll be I do that as a value change. The other thing here, make sure you give these enough they're going to have a little bit of thickness. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. Then you can kind of hit these based on where the light is. You can kind of hit those a little bit. You don't have to do it everywhere. But you can kind of punch those lines a little bit based on where my light is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I might add that in with, nah. If you're going to put verbiage on there, work it out real nice, right?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, should I have that sign at all? Do you think it's necessary? Or?
It doesn't bother me. I think as it breaks up the window.
Right. Yeah.
And then what's up here? Is that just where it ends? Like
yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna end it maybe like a little bit above that, but
sometimes I just do little things like punch the line where it's coming out from the dark into the light. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then these maybe could get a little heavier so they'll pop forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then I don't think I would do these lines like that. I mean, you can do lines if you want, but make sure they're worked out. You also might just want to put a watercolor wash over that, like, and leave like a little white in it, and you're done.
Okay.
But you can wash. We're washing the color right over the black line because it really does. I was reading I forgot who it was. He's like, I don't like doing that because then the color affects the black, and it doesn't really that much. But you can always go back in and punch little things if you know, like I put ink over or not ink. In the demo, I did something to his nose, and then I needed to come back in with ink and darken his nostrils up a little bit so you could see him. You know, but I mean, that's like the only thing that I did like that, right?
Yeah.
And then make sure his hat reads really good. Is he wearing one of those like burger hats?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because I actually did the hat on a separate layer just because I wasn't sure if it was reading well.
They're kind of like that, and then they usually have I remember them having something like that, like a diagonal graphic on them.
Yeah.
And then they kind of go. I think they kind of go, and then they kind of come over like that or something, don't they? They're like folded sort of in the front. They're like flat, and then they just go over your head, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, it's like a weird little
so I'd find that the little thing that, go look at reference of it. I mean, I was reading it, but just make sure. I don't know how much of it you need to show. It might just be that silhouette. And then I remember that I think that it's not even a graphic. I think there's like a fold right there like that or something. Does that make sense? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Watch, I'm gonna type in burger hat, and it's gonna come up like hats that look just like hamburgers.
Put an actual
Like, 'cause
burger head on them.
Look,
They're
like who buys this stuff
like,
other than Taylor? Taylor loves this stuff.
oh my god.
I don't want that beanie.
Which one?
I was like, the beanie's not so bad.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, this one?
No, the one
No,
on the right.
Yeah, on the right.
Taylor bought this one right here.
Oh my god.
She wears
That's
it all
a
the
good
time. Okay, burger worker hat.
It's also like a service hat. Like they used to wear it at service stations.
There you go. That one's just, see, it is folded. Like it's got a little thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I never, oops, where'd it go? Here's another one. So I think they usually put the graphic right on the fold. Right about now, you're asking yourself, why did I ask this question?
I was thinking of the In-N-Out hat.
Yeah, me too. That's what I should have looked at. So here's another one. It's folded. Huh?
The good burger hat. That's what I was thinking of.
That's just going to show me ball caps, though. Well, there's one. So that's probably it. There's one right on his head, even. See, yeah, it's just like two strips they put together, you know, for your maximum humiliation. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I think it's just a simple thing. Just you got to know, am I going to even see this line here? You probably would a little bit, but not too much because his head's like barely turned, right?
Right.
Okay, so just get it sort of, you know, like really completed, and that's it. Yeah?
Okay. So for next class, oh yeah, I did like a value.
Are you going to do a night shot?
I was thinking about it. Yeah, I made the store closed, so I was like probably later on.
I would have this in here. Oop. Hang on. Because you got a little light on them, which is good. Now you're going to save those whites, right?
Yeah.
In your inking, right?
Right.
This door. I'd have a little light on it like that.
Okay.
You see how it matches the lighting a little more?
Yeah.
And also, they don't ever turn the lights off completely. They're like dimmed down, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe I can get a little subtle. Maybe a little here. A little here. And then, you know, it could have a little bit of light spilling out of here. Right?
Yeah.
And then that's it, I think. Yeah. Clean up, get it transferred.
Cool.
And,
okay, so for next class, should we have it? Are we aiming to have it inked?
That stupid dog. Huh?
Are we aiming to have it inked for next class? Or?
No, I want to see them. And I'm going to try and have a meeting before next class. So anybody who's like hey, I'm not sure, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I got to walk you guys through this. At least I think I do. I mean, maybe I'm, like I said, maybe I'm wrong. But I don't
Good so
think,
far.
you know what I mean? What'd you say?
Yeah. Oh, I said it's good so far.
And I think and I've said this before, but I think it's a valuable skill. And just in general, I mean, even when you go back to digital or you're just drawing or whatever, it's really going to make you understand like the power of like big fat mark making, massing, just pure black, like all that stuff is going to help you a lot. You know what I mean? In how you're doing other things, you know?
Right.
I mean, everything, you know, you go take Frank's class and you do 3D, it's going to reflect back in here too. You know what I mean? You're going to understand form better. You're going to understand how light's falling on a form probably because, you know, it's lighting it in there, you know? I mean, all this stuff, it's all the same stuff. Where's Gene at?
Thanks, Mike.
All right, man.
Bye.
Wow, look at those feet. Those are great.
Yeah, it was hard to find like nice resolution of them.
All you need is that basic shape, man.
Yeah.
These tires are cool. Look at this one.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I wasn't sure if I want to go for more of like a retro station, like right above the belt buckle, or kind of like something more modern.
I mean, in some ways, it feels like things like truck drivers, they sort of, this way I always see them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really seem like they change a whole lot. Just, they seem to just move through the world, but the world changes and they don't seem to change that much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think like this kind of thing here could work. I mean, that can work.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys ever do this, but like, and I always say this about truck drivers, they sort of live between the cracks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they got these big giant things they're driving around, so they can't just pull in anywhere. So they go to truck stops and stuff. And if you go to truck stops, man, it's a whole other netherworld in there. Like the big truck stops and stuff like that. I used to go to them all the time to sketch.
Yeah.
It's totally like, it's like an old Burt Reynolds movie or something in those places. It's a trip. So Alan, to me, I don't think it has to be retro. If that's a statement thing, I don't think it has to be. It can be a thing where it's it's just fun from a visual angle where it looks like he's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it just depends on what you want to say. But I think something like this could work fine.
Okay, I'll probably go with that.
Personally, I like that those guys don't change and that they're just sort of out there rolling along and they just always seem like the same guy in a certain way.
Yeah, because I go through from California to Vegas a lot to visit family, and I always want to stop at those places, but I drive alone, so I'm like, I don't think that's the best idea, just because it's like at night.
They're pretty populated.
Yeah.
These are great.
Thanks. And then I also had some tracing paper and some other images where I went over the two right buffaloes again.
Went over the two what?
I think it's that one, and then probably another one to figure out the texturing on them. So I was just confused.
Well, this one, you're massing it, which is working fine. You know, then you could just go, you know, you could have. You know, you could just put another maybe layer here. You get a little bit of that idea. You know, and that's it, right?
Yeah, because I was worried they were looking too like bearish almost, or like not enough buffalo. Because I was looking at my references again, and I was like confused if I wanted to like have that really defined buffalo shape with their head like.
This dude right here to me is the director.
Okay.
That's buffalo to me. And he's got attitude and stuff. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I love that guy. He's great. This one's great. This one right here next to it.
Yeah.
Little, you know, and you're kind of starting to do the same thing I just spoke to right there. You know, and then there might be other ways to do it. If you look in, you find some little graphic language in there and you go, oh, it's really cool. And they're little swirls or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just look and I kind of try and let it go where it goes. To a certain
Yeah.
extent.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'd say get this guy. And what I'd probably do is like now I'd probably go get your original sketch and cut and paste them together in Photoshop and see if I can start to get them to work. Then I'd print it out and I'd start, refining with a piece of trace over it.
Oh wait, I'll do that.
Because I think the one you started, there's so much good stuff in there.
Yeah, because
I would try and like whenever I capture something like that, then I go, okay, I just got to refine this. And I might just go, okay, I refine this face. I like it. And I'll just cut and paste that head on there. And then I'll start turning the head and going, what looks cool, and it might just be all ready to pose your hat. Like you kind of nailed something with that. And then, start figuring out your all the other elements in it.
Yeah, because I was trying to design his body. I think I was getting frustrated because I think I was overworking it, and then I was just like killing it. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do because I don't know if you could look at the body designs because I'm not sure if I want to make him like in the center. There's like a stout little guy, but I'm not sure if I want to make him kind of like longer, like how I have in the.
I like the original sketch. I thought that was your direction right there.
Oh, wait, cool.
I mean, I thought you kind of worked it out, or I said that in the thing. It's like you've already pretty much nailed this idea. Now you just got to refine it.
Yeah.
These are great. I think it's a nice page.
Sweet, thank you.
Okay. So refine.
Sounds good. And then have it inked by next week, or have it just refined by next week?
I want the drawing done.
Okay, sounds good.
Because I just want to see it one more time before I go, okay, ink it.
Okay, thank you.
Who's this?
They're mine. I'm Marissa.
Who is it? Oh, Marissa. Okay. Yeah, we got to get some clarity in here. Like this back here, you could refine it a little bit. That's fine. You gonna leave that? That's gonna do a watercolor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get some clarity in here. What's he doing? Is he just standing in the water?
He's on the like inner tube.
Okay, so we got to get him more. I would think. I'd probably get him into a more fun pose. So you got an inner tube. You can do the patch thing if you want. And then this can be the main view. We get these ripples. And then I'd have them sort of I don't know what their beaks look like. Mine's gonna look like a seagull, but oh well. Maybe this wing is, going over the thing this way. The other wing is holding a beer. And then you could have his chicken legs coming out. Because it's kind of how people sit in these things, right?
Yeah.
And then his tail would have to be crammed over here somewhere. Maybe it's coming out like that.
Okay.
He has I think they have these like big knuckles on their knees. And they have funny looking feet. And, and then you can put this in there. And get this, you almost have it, get this sort of worked out a little bit.
Okay.
And it's just I don't know why I'm drawing crappy palm trims today for some reason. It could just be a simple, just like you have it, a simple silhouette. And you're done, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then maybe I can see his trunks way up here on his belly. And maybe a little bit of his trunks here. Mine looks like what was that cereal it used to have? Used to have a bird on it. I can't remember what it was.
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's. Yeah, it was Kellogg's. What was that? Was it Special K?
The toucan stamp.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah? Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
We're just changing the pose to make it more interesting. So like,
Okay.
I don't want to have these frontal poses where it's not telling me anything. And if he's drinking and sitting in and by the way, it's better to have a bottle. You're right. You know, and then I'd have his fingers or his feathers turned this way. And maybe a big feather there. And then his other feathers are here.
Okay.
And that's it. Yeah, and then it just speaks a little more to what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oops. Where's Robert? Robert, where you been? I haven't seen you. Where are you?
Right here. Or do you want to see my face?
Either or, whatever you're comfortable with. All right, so get him a little more fleshed out.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, because you're almost there, but get him like no more of this. This is random right here, that mark making, right?
Yeah.
And then just get him a little more, I'd say a little more, maybe a little more information.
Yeah.
Like I like what's going on with the face. I like what's going on here. I like that this eye is part of the helmet. But I think I'd get a little more weight.
Built into the wall.
What is that? Anybody else hear that?
I wouldn't expect it.
Is that on your end, Robert, or is it just somebody ran?
Yeah, my sister and my mom were talking.
We're watching them to the farm.
Maybe a little more like how does this
And then
neck come out of the shell thing, right?
Yeah.
snack. So I took them to that one and because they have like two
You know, get that gun really designed.
make the things outside and they drove like these, like if you
Maybe his thumb. is over or something.
let me know when I'm gonna come right out there, but make sure everything's safe. But share or
Yeah, and then you can have this. And I'd make this zipper pull bigger. So you see it? Right?
Yeah.
And I might do something like that on his.
Walking and like, okay, go back. So I had like
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So just flesh it out more. Good idea. Just flesh it out more.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That drawing nailed.
Thank you.
Where's Taylor? Taylor Sevilla.
Hello. So I was coming up with ideas for what the frog's going to be doing.
I like the
And-
drawing here.
Which, oh yeah, that one was my favorite one that I did. Because I kind of like the idea of like, I don't know, I like the way frogs always look kind of like stoned. So I was thinking more like that, but I kind of like what I did with the lily pad and like the moon. And
Yeah, I
was
like
thinking
this
about-
as an idea too, this little yoga person.
Yeah.
But this is just a nicer drawing.
Okay.
And also, this is another thing where like this under here could just become no ink and just watercolor shaping.
Yeah.
Right. And then this, get this, like this should be a little bigger.
Right.
You know, and then they have a little bit of form to them like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then get this little ripple worked out however you're going to do it. You know, it's always an opportunity to do something cool, right?
Yeah.
you know, and then you could get little bumps on them, a little here and there,
Right.
you know, a little texture. And they have markings or something, don't they?
Yeah, they kind of have. It depends on which ones, but I know some have warts and some kind of have just like a darker shade on their skin.
Get this loosened up a little. What's so he's wearing like overalls?
Yeah.
Pocket right there, maybe. And then, you know, you're probably going to get a little fold right there. Just get a couple little simple folds on there. Here's the bottom of his belly, maybe. You know, and then I'd look at whatever their markings are.
Uh-huh.
Get something fun on them. It's going to be a night scene, obviously?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's that guy. Refine it.
Got you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hyper design it. Frogs are funny looking, man.
Thank you. I always like the vintage looking frogs. Like the two of my favorite ones were the top one with the
violin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like off of like someone's like soap thing, and like both of them are soap. And I just think like frogs like that are cool. Like the whole I forget what book it's called, but it's like one of the children's books, and it's like
Frog and Toad.
Frog and Toad. Yeah.
These guys are funny.
Yeah.
It's actually like funnier. Oh, that's a great one right there. Yeah, that's awesome. Now I want to draw frogs. Look at these. There's something funny about the old ones because they're like more naive. The style's more naive. So they're putting these weird expressions on them. I think partly because I don't think it was all. I mean, it was intentional for them to look funny, but they look funny because they're drawn weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but they look cool. They look super fun. Like they hit these weird expressions that like I wouldn't hit because I'd overthink it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'd you know study up on it or whatever.
Especially
like this
the
one.
one.
Look how weird these two are.
Yeah.
The way is like going.
Hi, Ray.
Or this one.
Yeah, I like
Or
that
this
one. It was like I was finding all of this cool stuff on like Pinterest and Google, so I don't know where they're from specifically, but some are from
This guy. Super weird. It's funny, man. Okay. TCW.
That's me.
That thing's funny looking, man. Is that his? Is this part of his body? This part in between his chaps?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of try to get that to read a little more. And also chaps are like, I think the shape is actually important. What happened? What'd you do, Taylor?
I didn't do nothing. Busy trying to get my internet to work by the time you got to me.
Wow, this is weird. It took David's stuff all this time to download or to actually show up in my email. It's weird. Hang on.
I mean, I almost feel like he shouldn't have chaps just because his body's so blobby.
Well, it could also give some definition to it too.
Yeah. Like I tried to I mean, you can't really see it yet, but I was trying to add as the little tails of it behind his feet to show that it like wraps that other side.
Hang on. Stupid thing. Okay, hang on. All right. Wait, I gotta find this one thing. Like the ones. Let me get there. Like, look at these. These are cool.
You're not on that screen.
I know.
Okay.
Look at this little. It's like. Right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Look at this little vest.
Oh, 100%.
And the guy really to look at for this kind of cowboy stuff is Nudie. He made them for everybody.
I mean, I follow a couple people that do cross stitching on a bunch of suits like this.
Nudie did all these for all these guys.
Rhinestone cowboy.
Those are cool, man. I want a suit like that. I just can't pull it off.
You had the right one tailored, Mike. I bet you could.
Think so? Because I'm into it.
Why not?
Look at Porter Wagner. Anyway, I love this stuff. Rodeo Nudie suit chaps. Let's see what comes up. I'm looking for those big billowy ones. Shit. Rodeo. Oh wait, rodeo. Cowboy. Yeah, they're sort of like. I don't know why they're all weird. Yeah, so sometimes they'll have this sort of rounded kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I might, and then also I'd really graphic up, like if I was going to put those, however they go, like they come down and they sort of come down like that. I'd really graphic up this idea of the fringe.
Yeah.
Make it bigger, make it a bigger read.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes they have those, I don't know what I'd put on them, but sometimes they have those like buckle things.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are called. And I don't even know if you need all that. You might just need, that coming down. There's a very specific kind of round thing it does.
Yeah, totally.
So I just look up one of those. It's definitely not going to be pointy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like on his whatever you call this. Let's ghost this a little bit. What's going? Do you still work at Disney?
Yes. I mean, technically.
So what's going on?
A great question. I don't have an answer for it.
What do they tell you guys?
Absolutely nothing.
Really?
Yep.
So they just keep people. Are they paying you guys?
Nope. Not since. I mean, I'm getting unemployment, but not since they were paying us, like whatever, like extra. They were paying like our paychecks through the end of April, I think.
This whole thing's a mess.
Yeah, but even that week that they announced that they were going to open on the 17th, I didn't get a call in between when they announced they were going to open and when they were going to close.
Did they really have any intention of opening? Do you think?
I mean, I don't know. That's what everyone always asks me. They're like, "Do you think it was just a publicity stunt?"
I don't think Disney would do that. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, that's not a good publicity stunt. And they're pretty savvy.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with doing that is it probably would get out, and then people go, "Well, that's messed up."
There was also like a really big like cast cast petition that went out where the cast basically was like, "Nah, you shouldn't open yet."
Well, as soon as they open anything up, this stuff just explodes again. So
yeah,
that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Totally sucks, man. Man, I'm so sick of this crap. I mean, everybody is. I get it.
I mean, you wouldn't tell that anything is really abnormal if you were around the orange circle down here. I mean, everybody here just acts like nothing's going on.
Were you by the orange circle?
Yeah,
I love that area.
I do too.
This is great. I was so dumb when I was young and so anti getting tied down to anything. My ex-girlfriend, she rented a house down there right by the cool little bungalow house or whatever. And she was renting it. She goes, I'm going to buy this house. I said, what are you, stupid? You want to buy a house? And they didn't cost shit back then. And she didn't not get it because of me. She was like, screw you. But I think the guy just ended up not selling it or something. But it's just how stupid I was, you know?
I've been walking around the neighborhoods here for like, my exercise. And there's been like a crap ton of houses for sale. I'm assuming because like the Chapman kids aren't here to rent out a lot of them. And like there's such a range of like 600,000 to 1.1 million.
Yeah.
And they're like 2 or 3 blocks from where I live. It's just nutty.
That is crazy. So, maybe I play around with some of this. God damn it. Some of this stuff, what's going on? I keep going on the wrong layer for some reason. Some of this stuff here. Number one, I'd soften that edge, pull a little thing there. This is going to go like that. And I might pull some of this fringe up here too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just play around with it and see what works. Maybe a big stitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this could probably curve a little bit. Same thing, or maybe it's just like a lot of Western shirts. I don't know if it'll work on here. They sort of do this thing where they kind of go, it's like a little design, kind of does that, and then it'll have a pocket. But if you want to get a badge on there, you can. Work out this fur a little bit. Is it going to be like that kind of statement? Is it going to be more of just like a line, like that kind of statement? That's up to you. Really work this out. Like, how's that going to? Because when you go in, you don't want to be guessing on the mark making.
Yeah.
And then I'd work this out a little bit. This gun. There's some fun things you can do with that. You always have the little indentation on them.
Well, I was imagining it was like in a holster.
Yeah, well then you just cover this part of it.
Yeah.
Like that. And so on and so forth. Just make, like I'm saying with everybody, just make sure it's super worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure I'm reading that. I don't think it's bad, actually. I just think you got to get this relationship worked out.
Yeah, totally. I think you're right. Making the chaps like just bigger, having that like.
Because like if you look them up, like rodeo cowboys, there's some of them that are really real baggy and elaborate, and they're sort of rounded because they're a little more show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're probably a lot more show. And just make sure this back here is worked out. Yeah?
Back in the background in the back?
Way back here. Way back here.
Worked out how?
Like I'm not sure what's this I kind of know. Is this going to be just a silhouette back there?
Yeah.
What's this one? God damn it.
I mean, it's supposed to
What's
be.
What's this one here?
It's supposed to be Monument Valley, so it's like the way they're kind of because I was looking at pictures of it, and there's rocks that are like this close to each other.
Look. They would constantly use that sort of imagery in these old Warner Brothers cartoons.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you go down that rabbit hole, especially the Coyote and Roadrunner, go down the rabbit hole. Number one, they're funny as hell. And go down the rabbit hole of all the stylistic things they did with that idea of Monument Valley.
Okay.
Like this is one, but they did a million of them. Some of them they just put like a big flat shape, and then they do these linear lines over them, like an ochre.
Yeah.
You know, just take a look at those and just go for simplicity.
Okay.
I mean, look how simple this stuff is back there. Man, I haven't seen those things in forever, man. Those
I used to watch them on Boomerang a lot.
on what?
On Boomerang.
They haven't become politically incorrect?
Well, I mean, this was when I was younger. Now all the shows on Boomerang are the shows from when I was, like, the era from when I was little.
Look at this one. These guys were great designers. You know what I mean? Like the way they'd interpret this stuff, and it's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this one. Kind of just a lit side shadow thing and out, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, do this, but I mean, it's just for the idea of simplicity. Sometimes it just helps me to just look at things and how people interpret stuff. Kind of gets me, it just gets me inspired.
Yeah.
And then what really sucks though is when you land on something and you go, oh shit, I want to steal that so bad. You know what I mean? And then you got to get it out of your mind. This one's cool. Anyway, so there it is. And you're just doing a silhouette, so.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna like I was gonna try to leave like, you know, like white paper in there for the lines instead of like the reverse where you would like, normally I would like outline them and then fill them in with color.
Yeah, get that all figured out before you ever touch watercolor, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, this seems to be my mantra. What's it? My this term, actually this term, last term. I mean, I don't know. Whenever it was, I did this class and or did illustration the first time, and I'm just like this idea of really designing your final is super important, and you can see it. I mean, everybody struggles. You know, not everybody, but a lot of people struggle to get it. Really where it's finished enough to do it, you know. And the reason I'm doing that again is you get in there and you don't really know what the marks you made are. Then it's a mess because now you're on everything you put down with ink. That's it.
Yeah.
Now you can go in with a little bit of graphic white and you can carve things out. But then again, because I was thinking about this, I was looking at Rick Griffin's. They had a Rick Griffin show at the Laguna Art Museum years ago. And I was looking at his stuff, and you know, you could see the white, and like his inks were like immaculate. I mean, unbelievable. But there, you know, but because you're looking at the originals, you'd see the graphic white where you carve out shapes and fix things. And then I think like, and I totally forgot this for some reason. And I'm like, you can't put watercolor over those because that'll activate that paint. It won't. You can't do that, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't doing that. They were stat cameraing those, right? To make a stat shot of it, which just takes the black and white, basically puts it on a clear film. And then they run a plate from that, and the color was done in the printing process.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it didn't matter, you know, that they put white out on it and stuff, because all the stat camera does is pick up black and white, and that's it. You know what I mean? And then again, they do the color in the printing process.
Yeah. Also, I wore a Hawaiian shirt for you today because you were making fun of them last week. So.
At least it's not a big, crazy, baggy one.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, those are really bad. The worst thing is when you meet guys and they have like a persona around something like that. You know what I mean?
You mean like they're Guy Fieri?
Who?
Guy Fieri.
Oh, God, that guy. Guy Fieri, I don't know what his whole... Well, I mean, I think what he did is he created this sort of everyman. like that people aren't, I don't know, intimidated by, or I don't know. Where's these are David's, right?
Yeah, Mike, it's me.
The only thing I'd say is I don't think I'd get this complicated. I think I keep it pretty simple.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'd probably get something like, because to be honest with you, I mean, I know I'm going over like pose and things like that, but as long as they look cool for this, I mean, to me, it's more of an exercise than anything. I mean, it's a project, but.
Yeah, I wanted to check with you because I had these different ideas, but I wanted to check with you to see which one you think would be the one to go with, you know?
I'm missing one. Isn't there one more? Oh, here it is. I kind of like these poses better.
Yeah, I do too.
So I'd probably do it maybe. I mean, I guess you could do two. Get this worked out. So it's just, again, that could just be a silhouette. This could be sort of a warm-ish silhouette, and these could all just be sort of a purple cool silhouette.
Okay.
You know, this is warm here or whatever. I'd get rid of the bird just because it's going to start to get out of hand.
Okay. But keep the cactus, right?
Yeah,
So
I'd refine this.
Yeah.
So just go in and refine it. I'd go for this one.
Okay, and I'll have a quick question. I'm going to take this and I'm going to use my light tracing box and go over this and on Bristol. Now,
not yet. You got to design it.
Oh, so just draw it on regular paper then.
Yeah, just go in like trace.
So trace it onto some like light box and redraw and make it look nice and tight.
I just take a piece of trace, I go over it, and I start just like what I'm doing with everybody's drawings here right now, where I'm kind of refining them and.
That's what I mean. Like,
just do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, take it onto the second piece of paper and make it much tighter, right? Like,
yeah.
And
just work yeah.
And then when I'm done with that, I have a question for you. Are we going to be coloring these digitally, or is it just inking?
It's watercolor. I
put
watercolor video on it.
What's up?
I put the whole video up on it.
Okay, I'll watch that. Sorry, I just wanted. So there's a video on what the final thing should look like. Okay.
There's a video on the whole process.
Okay, so that's in the thing. Okay, I'll watch it. But
ink it first, and then we're going to watercolor it.
Okay.
So it's just a classic. It's a classic comic thing, classic cartoon thing. Ink and watercolor.
All right. Like you said, take those last drawings and make them nice and tight now.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did I miss? Okay, make sure that your name's on them. Yeah. This just has a number. Yeah, these got to get much more worked out. Correct.
After everybody else's, yeah, I definitely see that.
Okay. That's good. That's a good comment, by the way, because you want to, that's why you're looking at other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Because you start seeing it, you go, oh, okay, that applies to me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're not seeing it, you're probably seeing this in every class. Most people are making the same errors, right? It's like, again, we're not unique, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all make the same errors. I know I do. I make the same errors I'm getting all over you guys about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Sorry to bother you. It's me, David. I'm gonna get going, but
okay.
I was gonna. Are you gonna be doing that? Like, I like when we have the not in class, but we see you again. Is that gonna happen again this week?
Yeah, I told you I'm gonna try and do 2 of them next week, and I'm gonna try and do 1 this week.
Awesome. I'm gonna try to go to that, and
they will be under announcements in Canvas.
I'm using Chrome from now on, so hopefully it'll work. I'll keep checking. And I just wanted to make sure I sent my homework for sketching for illustrators. I just want to see it, like, make sure if you could check and make sure you got it. I'd really.
I'll check after class. Let me get through this.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry to bother you. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So just get these tightened up. What is he? Is he a cat?
Supposed to be a rabbit. I tried to make his rabbit or bunny or some one of those.
Well, the thing it's going to sell me on that is if you come in here and put these
ears, right? Yeah.
I mean, you need that. Everybody needs that if you're going to do a rabbit. And then just get this stuff like this. Get this again worked out. And I can take almost anything you guys do, and I can do something with it. And the reason I always say that is because I'm not usually actually doing as much, do they have whiskers?
So yeah, I wasn't sure to add whiskers.
And then he's walking away from me?
Yeah. He's sort of like looking at you too, like angrily. Just like what the hell.
Has he got his pants down behind his butt?
Yeah, it's sort of like sagging a little bit. He's wearing like these like sweat kung fu pants or something along those lines.
Is this like a knot right here, like a tie?
Like that?
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'd make that really clear. You know, if it's a tied thing or that's funky on mine. I'd probably just have him, do something like that. And then what's this round shape right here? Oh, is that his tail?
Yeah, it's supposed to be his tail. I sort of like.
So make sure that gets differentiated out of here, that there's a little furry tail in there.
Yeah.
And then what's this hanging here?
So I was taking reference for karate gi, and I thought that was part of the pants, but it was actually part of the shirt.
I think I'd eliminate that and just bring this down.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be a little gather down here. Just stuff like that. Yeah? Start getting, and this is going to actually come up here. So it'll read a little clearer then. There's his butt crack. There's his underwear. Anyway. Does that make sense? Just clean them up and start designing them a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then, who was the other one? Stephanie? Melina?
Yes. Did you get it? I sent it.
I did, but wait, I'm trying to find it.
It's a panda.
Huh?
It was a panda.
Wait, hang on. Oh, I remember yours. Yeah, I figured this out for me. Cool. Wow, it actually placed it right in Photoshop. I didn't think it would do that. I would get these. They're two contour lines.
Right.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
they're going to have, you're going to have. Okay. Like this whole top part, I think, is usually.
Right. The arms are normally like completely black. Yeah.
Are their whole arms black?
Yeah, and then
Doesn't
the
it come
feet,
across like
the-
that or something?
It could. There's some variation, but I think it's like normally like white belly,
I
white
just
head.
get the pose also a little more.
Right.
He's just having some tea, right?
Yeah. I didn't know which one to do of these two. Like maybe that one's a little too awkward.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't mind. Probably this one, the frontal one.
Okay.
But I might try a few things. I'd make sure. I might have this paw. Maybe it's he's dipping the tea bag in there, or she. And then what's the other? Oh, the other hand's holding. Okay, that's fine. Maybe contemplating something. Oops. I didn't really mean to give her a smile, but and then that sort of, is it a boy or girl?
I didn't really think about its gender, but
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe it's a girl.
It's got a little bamboo chair.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Or it could be sitting on the, this
Yeah, I
hand.
kind of want to make it more interesting. I think I was
Yeah, because
a
like
little too
if I have-
literal to the environment.
by the way, the reason I'm saying like maybe dangle the tea bag,
Right.
because then I got a little elegant gesture with the hand. Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Holding this, it's morning.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
Whatever you're contemplating.
Right.
So I'd work out the pose a little more, and then work out the design really heavily.
Right.
Which now I'm starting to sound like a broken record. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? All right. Now I've gone through everybody's, right?
You got mine? Because I
You
put it
did.
in the boot drive.
It's not in here.
I did send it like 2 hours ago.
Look. Am I missing it?
I did send it 2 hours ago. I did put it in.
It's not. It wasn't in there. I mean, that's the entire folder. I downloaded the whole folder.
Mike.
Yeah.
You see mine? The one I sent earlier. From my email. From the email.
To my work email?
Yeah.
You made download again?
I guess, yeah.
Let me see.
Turn your mic off.
Mike, I'm gonna head out.
Okay. You know what to do,
There, Mike.
Taylor?
It's in a fundamental cartoon class, September 22nd.
It's in the what?
In the fundamental of cartoon class, September 22nd is there.
This is the folder for that.
I did put it there. It's there.
That folder's closed. You can't even get into that folder anymore.
I put it like 409.
Just email it to me.
Were you gonna say something, Mike?
You know what you're doing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
What was I just gonna do? Shoot, now I'm all screwed up. This
And
was.
Mike, there was Ryan S.
I
There
got
was
your.
5 more.
I got your.
Okay.
Yeah. Here it is. It's the shark one, right?
Yeah.
I love this design, by the way.
Also, there was 5 more in the email.
It's gonna make.
Sorry about that. I mean, you could actually work with this one though. Just
No,
get the.
I want to see them all because you know we have a week between classes. So I don't want you guys getting stalled. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I want you guys to know direction and all that. Okay. Oh, those are great. Oh, that's great. This one right here is great. This one's pretty cool. What's it doing? Is he like picking his teeth or is he eating?
Yeah, it's I had trouble because I wanted to imply that he was eating clients that didn't pay up.
Eating what?
Eating clients. He's a loan shark. He's eaten clients that didn't pay up the loans, but I don't know how to imply that.
I don't even care if you do. I just like the drawings. I think they're nice. This one's kind of, I mean, you got a bunch of cool ideas here. Which one do you want to do? I like these, like this, just the simplicity of that is cool.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do? I like this one. I like this one a lot. This one right here. Yeah. What do you think? You there?
Maybe that. Yeah, I'm here. Maybe that. It's I'm having a hard time picking this too. Maybe that top one where you just checked.
This one right here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
And make sure that you give me some, you know, some nice interior information and all that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Blow it up and start refining it. I mean, you've got everything's already there. All you gotta do is refine it. Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And I kind of like if he's picking his teeth with is that what he's doing? Like with a toothpick?
Yeah.
I think that's enough. Like he's a loan shark. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I actually like that that's so subtle. It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool that it's so subtle. And then was there somebody else?
I already emailed yours on Fullerton Canvas.
Stephanie, go ahead. No, it's fullerton.edu or whatever it is. Stephanie.
Yes.
Oh, I just went over yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you guys. We gotta tighten these up.
I sent you my drawing, like 101 in the inbox.
In what inbox?
Like in Fullerton Canvas. It's not in, I didn't put it in Canvas. I put it in your email. That say inbox Mike Shisha, something like that.
Oh, this is like some weird email. This has got to get fleshed out. I think we talked about this last time, correct?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to get fleshed out. Like these trees aren't designed. This isn't finished being designed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Like he's like holding like a little stick and having a cup of water or wine. Like he's still like the king, the prince. Like he's sitting in his thorn, like in the.
But he's not. He's standing.
Like he's standing like in the thorn, like he's standing up and ruling the world. That's
do that, man. Have him sitting regally in that chair, and the cup is all bejeweled, and looks cool. You know what I mean?
All right.
And then get these trees designed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Because you're gonna ink it, man. It's gotta be super finished. Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Right. Okay. So I got everybody now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you guys.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
If the COVID never existed, we'll be easily 101. It'll be more easier.
What do you mean?
If the coronavirus never existed, like how like we have an epidemic because the school is closed. If the COVID didn't exist, it would be like 101, like with the students in class. It'll be more easier for me.
Well, it's easier for everybody.
Yeah.
Super easier for everybody. Yeah, it's easier for me too, because all this stuff I can just sit down with you guys and be in classroom and working, But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I don't control the international pandemic response, even though.
I heard the coronavirus was planned by somebody else.
No,
that's what I heard. Like,
yeah, it was. Don't start listening to all that conspiracy crap.
That's what I heard. I don't believe it.
Yeah, that's not what it's just anyway. It's just a virus, whatever.
All right.
That's weird.
We're good, Mike.
Okay, you guys. I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Thank you, guys, and I'll talk to you guys before the next meeting.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you on Tuesday.
You guys work.
See you next Tuesday, Mike.
Yeah, and go work.